song on the record. It sums up the story of the concept of the record, and the Luminary is the way that the main character of the story um, sort of frees himself and the people of the story of their sort of purgatory that they're in, and this is the final chapter of the album.
Definitely a longer song than usual. It's got a couple twists and turns, which is not unlike some of our music, but this one definitely takes you in a different spot than you would expect.
Is I think it's about like 5.5 minutes, something like that. It's one of the longer songs on the record.
Yeah, the Luminary is a daunting song. There's a lot of components, a lot of pieces, but it's also there has to be, because it's the ending of the album. It's the final track, so it's the final piece that puts it all together. This epic journey that this character has gone on, and it's not the end. It's only the single edit, as you've heard.
So that part of the song is one that was probably one of the more technically challenging parts for us, because we always want it to be as precise and tight as possible live.
It's a fun part to play live. It definitely takes a little work to get nailed down so everyone's very tight, because it does rely a lot on that stop and the breath of the rhythm of that drum part and everybody else.
And it's a very like start and stop part where the whole band has to be really together on this, otherwise it could fall off the rails at any moment. So this is one that we have to sit down and take the time and like really make sure each hit, each note, each stop is pretty precise.
Yeah, this part has a fantastic groove to it. It's probably my favorite part of the song. It's definitely one of my favorite parts of the album. Just getting into this groove and just really, it just drives, and you can really feel it. And when everyone's locked in and everyone's really cruising, when we played it just the other day, you could tell that that's a special moment in our set, is when we get to this part of the song, because it hums when everything's locked in together.
I remember sitting in the storage unit trying to write at least the back end of the song, because the front part kind of flowed nicely where we wanted it to, and everything kind of came kind of natural, but it didn't seem like the song was over at that spot. So we had just been kind of like riffing around, finally came across this like very kind of sidewindery, kind of out of left field little riff, and kind of took the song into the next stage. And writing the drum part was a little bit of a challenge. Kind of hit it out at the unit, and also did a little bit of MIDI drums to kind of develop the sound we really wanted out of it. And then, I mean, you only get better by writing stuff that's hard for you to play, so it's pretty much what ended up happening.
Yeah, the drum beat's weird. First time I heard it, I was impressed, but then the part of you always thinks, how are we going to pull this off? Because it's got to be tight, because if you don't get it right, everyone's going to hear it, everyone's going to know it. So we, and when I say we, I mean the people who have to play that part, are running it all the time. We'll run the set and we'll say, what do we need to work on? And we always seem to go back to this part, because it's an awesome part, and I can't believe we came up with it, because it's just such an epic, sort of odd thing for us, but that's sort of our deal, is doing epic and odd things. So I think it's a great part.
This part of the song is one of the weirder little. It feels a little proggier. I don't want to say it's like an actual prog part, but it feels a little proggier from the normal things that we usually do in Atlas. But yeah, it sort of it kind of reminds me of Flight of the Bumblebees a little bit. It has that like angry swarm of bees kind of vibe to it, and yeah, it ties in nicely with the story as the part goes on and what's going on in the story.
I definitely enjoy playing this one live a lot. It's a little tough and it's a little daunting as it kind of gets into the tougher parts of the song. But it's got a very, very nice, that bass slide intro always makes me feel pretty good when we hit it right. Um, it definitely has a lot of dynamics to it. It kind of moves around a lot. It's got some interesting parts that aren't just kind of, verse, chorus, interlude. It's got a lot of movements. Uh, it's a little nerve wracking when we kind of try that one out. So it'll definitely keep you entertained. It keeps me entertained.
So the real conclusion of the album comes together in the final edit. You kind of have to listen to the album track, not the single version, but the album track, and it sort of bookends the story of the album, and it's just a very breathy part, and it sort of is like an exhale relief for the character of the story.
I'm just really excited for this release. It's been a long time coming to get to this song and to have it finally put on the album that you will soon be hearing early next year. So keep checking us out and prepare yourself for some more videos.